Facebook will restrict publishers and users in Australia from sharing or viewing Australian and international news content, as the Parliament there debates a law that will force tech and social media platforms, namely Facebook and Google, to pay more for journalism on their sites. Australia has taken the hardest line in any country so far with the legislation that would force digital platforms to negotiate with media companies on payment for using their news. The new law would require a tech platform to give publishers collective bargaining power and give them notice of any algorithm changes that would materially affect traffic. William Easton, Managing Director of Facebook Australia and New Zealand, said Australia's proposed law fundamentally misunderstands the relationship between our platform and publishers who use it to share news content. It has left us facing a stark choice: attempt to comply with a law that ignores the realities of this relationship, or stop allowing news content on our services in Australia. With a heavy heart, we're choosing the latter. This legislation sets a precedent for where the government decides who enters into these news content agreements and ultimately how much the party that already receives value from the free service gets paid. He said that Facebook has made clear to the Australian government for many months the value exchange between Facebook and publishers runs in favour of the publishers, which is the reverse of what the legislation would require the arbitrator to assume. Last year, Facebook generated approximately 5.1 billion free referrals to Australian publishers, worth an estimate of $407 million. But for Facebook, he said, the business gain from the news is minimal, making up less than 4% of the content people see in their newsfeed. Facebook's actual newsfeed is in danger of becoming literally the shopping channel of the internet right now. I don't know if I haven't logged into the service for quite a while, and I'm seeing most of my friends have migrated onto other platforms. I would say this is really bad for both parties. I think the news service, although it only constitutes 4% of what people are looking at, it's an important, very important 4%. People, I think, spend a lot of time using social media to help them aggregate the news that will be of interest. And I don't think that this will reflect well on Facebook's own user base as well. If you're prevented from actually sharing a link, it's going to impinge on your free speech. I think a lot of people are going to be quite pissed off with this. So I see the publishers losing very badly out of this, because all of a sudden their traffic's going to drop off a cliff. And as we've seen, one of the things that's happened with journalism is it's driven by clicks and this rush for ratings. Boringly written articles don't get anyone's attention. And if you've been following the headlines, we've been moving towards the news of the world for quite some time. Things that affect traffic and this click-only model, yeah, that's not good. And newspaper subscriptions are never going to make up for this shortfall. So I believe this will be reversed quite quickly once the industry finds out just how much this kind of rule change will hurt. As Facebook's increasingly fractious dispute with the Australian government over the proposed content, its tech rivals have begun negotiating and striking deals with Australian publishers. Google, after initially threatening to withdraw its services from Australia, has struck deals with Seven West Media and is close to a commercial agreement with Nine Entertainment and the national broadcaster ABC. On Wednesday, Google signed a landmark deal with Rupert Murdoch's company News Corp to pay for journalism from its global news sites, including the company's Australian assets. So we're going to very, very quickly see how this new business model works out and who the winner is going to be. My money's on Google in this one. I think Facebook potentially shot themselves in the foot here. But anyway, we will see.